G'day, Finroo here, how you doing? Welcome to Homebrew Wednesday number 6. I'll just finish filling up my pint because had a bit of froth there. So the old keg was a bit, carbonated, but I've turned it down. Should be good. That's better. Just had to purge the keg a bit. It's not too because whether I had the CO2 nitrate mix. It's pretty hard to over actually carbonate your beer, but you get a lot of froth at the top. But you can see it's not a lot. I like that smooth, the smooth carbonation you get from the nitrate. So you can't really see many bubbles, and it's a nice smooth beer. But look at the head on it. It's been kegged now for about 3 weeks, I suppose, maybe 4 weeks. I can't remember when I did it. Oh, let's have a look. I put the date on it. Didn't put the date on it, but it's a while ago now. Probably about 3 or 4. Yeah, no, probably about 4 weeks, I think. Okay, so welcome along. What I've got for you today is tomorrow. I'll let you know what I'm doing tomorrow. Is I'm brewing a beer. Brewing the Tired Bastard, right? So, my Tired Bastard is sort of a mild, right on the. Well, I looked up the BJCP the other day and just sort of, 3.8 is sort of the max technically, but some stronger versions are made. But we'll call it a porter. But I call it my mild, and it comes in at 4.2%. So I've got my grains here all ready to go. I'm going to be so that's going to be, and I will put this in the description down below. So the Tired Bastard, one of my favourite beers. Really enjoy it. So it's 3.5 kg of Gladfield ale malt, and so that ale malt is just like your English. So if you're going to clone it, then you'd probably use some Maris Otter or something like that. 350 grams of dark crystal. I've tweaked it a bit. Used to use light crystal in this, but I was so impressed with David's Old Peculiar, and that used dark crystal. I've decided that I'm going to tweak my recipe and use some dark crystal. 200 brown, 200 roast wheat. I'm going to do an 80-minute boil. We might even do a bit longer because with that toffee sort of thing. I'll see how I feel. Fuggles. Yeah, I'm just going to use some Fuggles. I've still got my homegrown ones in the freezer. I'll use them again for this beer, which is absolutely outstanding. Cheers. I was saying to my mate Jared down at home, your shout, I said you can't beat those homegrown hops. They don't take a lot to grow. Honestly, they grow like a bloody weed. In fact, I was watching someone the other day. I can't actually remember who it is. I'm sorry to that person, but you'll know who I mean. He took some rhizomes or something like that and planted them in a wood, and they just grow wild in the wood. And he just goes out and, isn't that fabulous? And as I said to him, if it was here in New Zealand, you'd plant them and the council would come along and remove them because we don't like... Of course, the hops in there to be a native of England, wouldn't they? I guess, I'm thinking. Not native here in New Zealand. Anything that's not native, unless it's a forest. So where was I? I'm going to use 2 packs. I always like to use 2 packs, even if if my OG is under 150, and they say on here like 2 packs for 150 and above, but I always like to use 2 packs. I'm just a bit funny like that. I know I actually would prefer to do a starter, but I just haven't been. I've just been leaving the starters alone, and I want to get back into them because I prefer to do them, as you know. So I'm using Tony Howard done a brew, and he's been using some Liberty Bell yeast. It's just an English ale yeast, M36. So he's been using that, and I went along to your shout, and they were just a bit short on the yeast that I wanted, so I just thought I'll go with this, and this will be fine. A lot of people brewing, home brewing. Whew. Wonderful stuff. So that's what I'm doing. Got my Fuggles hops here, as I said before. And it should be a fairly straightforward brew day, so I'm looking forward to that, and that should be on Friday, I think. I'll probably do a video if I'm feeling okay. Now, I'm going to do a tasting too in a minute. I've got Roy's Fuller's 1845 clone, which I'm so looking forward to. It's been an absolute treat having those beers that Roy sent me. Very generous. Anyway, before I get to that, I just want to show you what I've got here. That one's still going. This one's finished. Okay, so this is the 2 small batches of the apple cider that I did. So that one's finished, and it only took a week. Of course it would. It's only I actually used a whole packet of yeast in there, and I haven't looked inside. I'm sure it'll be fine. It fermented. Took I guess 4 days. I don't know what was going on in there. It stopped bubbling in about 4 days anyway. It was going nuts. The other one, so this one's filled up to about here. I think I told you about 4 litres. The other one was a lot higher, and so started coming up through the airlock, you know, as it does. And so a little lesson learnt. Oh, I should know better, but you know how you should be right, mate. Yeah. So always going to leave a couple of inches, 50 mil or something at the bottom. So that's that. I'm looking forward. I'll probably bottle that, as I said. Did I say on Friday? Got enough bottles here, and that'll be good. And I've already sourced a few more apples. Of course, you say you're making cider, and says, "Oh, I've got apples. Well, bring them along. I'll put them in the freezer, and when I'm ready, I'll go and I'll make hopefully I'll get my squasher thing, my apple press. Hopefully I'll get that upgraded with some decent pieces of wood, and I mean it works fine. So but yeah, I could probably make a bigger bucket. And anyway, so the preliminaries for are really good, so I'm really happy. So that was a success. Well, the proof of the pudding will be when I drink it. And so what I'll do is bottle on Friday, this one anyway, and 2 or 3 weeks later I'll have a quick tasting on Homebrew Wednesday, and I will then the rest of them will go in the fridge, and they'll be stocked up until spring, which is only 3 months away. We're in New Zealand now. We're just 1st of June. It's probably 1st of June everywhere. Tomorrow it'll be 1st of June for a lot of you guys. Very, very close to winter. I think the winter solstice is very shortly, the next week or something like that. Don't quote me on that, but 1st of June, I take that as winter. So 3 months from now, be coming into spring. And I've already started thinking about my plants. Had a great time with my chilies and everything like that, and freeze. Oh, bloody great. Really good. Tomatoes. It was great. Anyway, enough about that. So the apple cider is great. That's good. So on to the tasting. Really looking forward to this. And I haven't got I didn't bring any water out here because I thought I had everything planned. Out comes the trusty homemade bottle opener. Do you know what comes into it to make a bottle opener? Do you know the logistics of it? Do you know how one actually works? Try making your own. See? Yeah. See that? Just a couple of, look at that. See? A nut and a sort of a bolt thing. That's what I do with my time in my life. Make things like this. So what I'm going to do actually with this, I said to my grandson tell a couple of his mates that probably won't make one like this, but there's some other designs you can get with just drilling a hole and putting a washer and everything like that. Get a couple of mates around, and we'll cut some wood out and drill some holes, and they can sand them down, and they'll do that and use the tools, and they just love doing it. It teaches them how to use tools, and a lot of people, when they get later in life, they've never used a drill or a hammer or a saw even. And why would they? Because these days a lot of people don't do stuff. I know a lot of people do, but anyway, so he's going to get a couple of his mates around here, and for Father's Day I'm going to get them making a bottle opener for their dads. And we'll make a nice bottle, make it nice, and they can burn in here with a soldering iron, something like, Dad, or whatever, Happy Father's Day or whatever. Be cool. Great getting the guys around here and working with the tools. They just don't clean up. They just leave it to Granddad. Granddad will clean up. They're gone. So, here we go. I've been really looking forward to this. This is Roy's Fuller's 1845 clone, coming in at 6.8%. I went and washed this glass. That's better. And my wife got these glasses the other week from a second-hand shop, and they had a funny smell in them. But anyway, we went and then got some lemon juice into it and scrubbed it out and gave it a good clean, so she's good to go. So here we go. And get the pour here. It's shut me up, isn't it? I'm in for a treat, I know it. Clarity's good. It's got a slight haze. I may have jostled it up when I brought it out here. I can see that the clarity is good, but there is a slight haze. But hey, it's probably been my fault. And anyway, what's wrong with a bit of haze? And look at the can you see the foam on that? It's frothy. It's frothy and thick. It's got a sweetness on the smell. And this is absolutely the style of beer that I love. Cheers, and cheers, Roy. Thank you so much. Fabulous. So, there's a lot going on here, as a matter of fact. You know, we were talking about, and this is really interesting to me. I got this a wee bit from his last, old Tom. I got this. You know that I was talking about, that golden syrup or that toffee thing that I was in search of, and I kind of got it. Sort of got it with the golden syrup, and I got it with the extended boil on the old Peculiar. Now I don't know what he's. I don't know how he's brewed this, to be honest. I'll have to go and find those notes. I forgot about the notes. Got them somewhere. I should have checked that. But it doesn't matter. There's a lot going on in this beer. Complexity. You think you can brew a beer like this, guys? I don't know if I'd be able to. I don't know how to brew a beer with this flavour profile, is what I'm trying to say. There's a bitterness to it. It's very mild. There's a flavour to the bitterness. The flavour to the malt, man, my goodness. So, I'm getting a toffee honey kind of. Look at the lacing on that. I'm getting a toffee honey kind of English style, whether it's the yeast that he's used. I'll write that down. Just ask him. Yeast in 1845. I have actually had a few times the Fuller's. I'm a big fan of Fuller's beer. They do some great stuff. 1845. So that is it's a fabulous beer. I don't actually know if I would have the knowledge to make a beer with that complexity as far as the... I have to go away and think about it. I could probably come up with something close, but I'm going to have another look at that recipe that he's done. And if you're interested, please let me know in the comments, guys, if you're really interested. This is fabulous. So he's got me stumped here a bit. 6.8%. I'm just wondering, because see, this is the thing, you know, we're doing a video and you're talking, you don't want to, because you want to spend some time thinking about it. I know that Bumpy Road Brewery, he'll turn his camera off and he'll go away, think about it, contemplate it, write it down and everything like that, then come back to the video. But I just like to do this all at once. But I'm kind of wondering if there's a wee bit of, if I can taste a wee bit, I don't like the term boozy. I don't like that term boozy. I know what they mean by it, and I wouldn't say this is boozy. But what I would say is that I can possibly taste it. There's no alcohol burn. 6.8, I wouldn't really expect it to. It's a very well made beer. The yeast has done a really good job. I'm just wondering if some of that complexity is from a little bit of the alcohol flavour. I'm just wondering. I don't know for sure. I don't pretend. Well, sometimes I do pretend, but you know what I mean? I can't. I don't know. It's a very well brewed beer. You can just tell a well brewed beer by, you know, the lacing and the look of it. And you see that cloudiness, that's just yeast and stuff, because I've upset the bottle because it was sitting in the house fridge for a while. So anyway, Roy, thank you so much. I really enjoyed that. You're a great brewer, and hopefully we can keep in contact. And to everyone else, have a good week. Have a happy Homebrew Wednesday. And time's getting on, 17 minutes. Got to go. And yeah, cheers. Everybody, you take care. And thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Ooh, cheers.